you doing? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Here I am, your Sensie Owl Bob, your griot, here to tell you a story. And we are living in strange times, but pretty much humanity has been in a strange world since its conception. And in the beginning, right? And in the garden, oh, you're bad kids, get out, Here's a flaming sword. First thing we're given is a weapon. So no wonder we kill each other. Um, and I just kind of spent about 40 minutes footing through the old YouTube, and it's pretty amazing. It's like crack, right? And it seems every day I take a little glimpse of it, and it gets more useless, and it really has nothing really to offer except the unmitigated goal of the human race. There is no empathy. There is no interior view of the consciousness because it takes love's co-creation to have that. And I don't see much of it. Now, that doesn't mean squat, really, in that we're going through whatever we need to go through to get to the point where we can understand whatever it is, right? And I tell you stories, right? I was talking on the phone to some friends, and gave them an opportunity to hear and listen to my stories, and they liked it, and I like telling them. And so I have more than 2,500 shows on my channel, right? They're all there. I would suggest that you go, just take your little finger and put it on the thing, and go whoop, and it'll boop, 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 and it'll stop at something. Watch it. Right now, my laptop is dead. My tablet is, sometimes it works on other. And the other two devices are, personality challenged in that for them to exist, they have to be continually connected to the World Wide Web and the cloud. And it's not working too well. So it's being abnormally cold, which is not so bad. I mean, it's not winter, it's not snowing, but, right now it's like probably 65 to 72. And for the first few days of September, that should be a little warmer than that. And at night, it's in the 50s. And again, it's not that bad. It's not winter, but it's a harbinger of what's to come. We had really super duper hot, unruly hot June, July, and early August. And then it got cool. And it's been cool. Not just a cool day here and there, just cool for the last 2 weeks or more. And it's setting up a pattern that, what I look for is patterns, right? And it's a pattern of it's really hot, then it's really cold. Really hot, really cold. Really hot, really cold. Our last winter was very much like that. It was 20 degrees below zero here during the day for 3 weeks straight. And I had to go into the community center and stay there with other folk who would froze to death, right? And the folks there really didn't care, right? I mean, they didn't want the people to stay there. I just had to be the babysitter anyway. And there was no real bed for us. And that's one reason why my hips and everything are as screwed up as they are. Now, they've been screwed up for the last 20 years, so, I'm pushing 80, so, it's kind of what it is. But you guys, there's a whole bunch of you, that's every kind of whatever, and you can make a difference. You don't have to allow yourself to be digitized, don't have to be megatized. You don't have to be wokenized, right? You could just be love's co-creation, be there for the other. Your life is the we and me, not the me, right? So let's take a little look And let's see what this is.
Again, tariffs are a tax that are passed along to the consumer, and these specific tariffs are all arbitrary tariffs that he pulled out of his butt because he's jealous of Joe Biden. So there's no reason to deliberately tank an economy.
Exactly. But it's like, nobody's saying that tariffs shouldn't be a part of a comprehensive trade deal. Of course they should. But you don't do it like this. You're not a baboon flinging your poop around on a calculation of who's being unfair because you don't fucking fundamentally understand the world economics, much less microeconomics. So he doesn't know shit about economics. He's a goddamn serial bankrupt con man who bankrupted a casino, for Christ's sake. So,
multiple casinos,
God.
Not just one,
right?
Not just one casino. The House always wins unless it's owned by Donald Trump. then the House looks like it was taken over by a Russian Hobby Lobby to decorate the Oval Office. It's so tacky and embarrassing. Speaking of the Oval Office, do we have proof of waste of life in the Oval Office yet? Do we have our announcement? Has it begun yet? Have they strung him up?
Anything?
Is he propped up behind the Resolute desk? It is after the 2:30 moved time. I'm just checking in. I'm just checking in to see if Paw dawdled on down to the office, because we know he usually doesn't show up until noon, at least now.
What's so bad with that? I don't get up till noon.
Watching his stories, having his meals fed to him intravenously. So
I don't know. I'm not.
See anything. Jim says he's got 2 years of green coffee beans hoarded. We're coming over to your house, Jim. Coming over to your house for coffee.
I should have thought ahead like that.
I have 2 of those. Those large.
See what I mean? That's really
party size containers.
This is what YouTube's about, and
I have 2 of those.
This is not constructive. Let's hear. The Democrats aren't talking about. Do you really want Newton, governor of California, to be your president? Right? Really want that? You want the guy who's running for mayor of New York City to be your president? Right?
Attention, adults over 64. Your Social Security increase will not be automatically added unless.
So, fuck you, Republicans, because tariffs are bad.
Well, they want to cut everything, but they want to cut the same.
How about some thumbs up? Yeah, let's get this algorithm going.
Through the roof. They don't want to give anyone a hand up. They don't want to give anyone a goddamn day off to see a doctor, to do. I mean, they want to destroy this country. I know it sounds like, because I've heard people say.
Guys, don't you understand that it's not Trump? Trump is a game show host. This is a game show. We are living in a soap opera, right? It's to hobble the United States. He's gonna, in the next few weeks, we are going to be, he wants to go invade Venezuela. He's ready to back up Israel to go attack Iran again. He's ready to give Europe to Putin. But that's not really what's happening.
No, you're right.
This is not what is happening. What is happening is that
they want to understand, and they want
I asked Google
repeat the same shit over
about
and over again. But I have been employing.
I mean, that's enough of that. We got the idea. That's all that social media is doing. See this little line here? It's because I've been wearing this hat. And pretty much this is all like sun, and that's, anyway. But there are a lot of things going on. It kind of looks funny there. It's like I got my own little frame going on. But life is just strange. And if you open yourself up to love's co-creation, the most amazing things happen, right? And whatever is a negative outcome is really just a opportunity to learn something, and that's been my life. I've had more strange negative things happen to me, then, and I've had amazing, lucky, amazing, gifted, amazing miracles happen to me. And there's a book called A Course in Miracles, and it basically says there's no difference between the two because we're here to learn how to be a soul with a body, right? Oh. See that light? That's photonic light, not incandescent. That's the spirit of co-creation right there. So, what are you guys saying? You still stuck on said hi? Said hi. Come on, do more than saying hi. Because if you just say hi, it seems like you're some kind of bot. I'd love to have... So I was talking to... I had a friend who came and got me, and she had her new boy toy, and he was a billionaire. Not him, his daddy was. This guy went to Brown and Stanford and MIT, and he studied physics. He knew squat. All he knew about was useless string theory, right? And that was, Jeffrey Epstein gave tons of money to colleges to have their physics department focus on string theory, right? Because it's a useless piece of crap from what's his name? Einstein, who is another cutout. Einstein, no, actually from Madame Curie, who was truly the brilliant one, to 1945, I was about 40 to 50 years, right? And we went from cavemen to the atomic bomb. And then from, 1958 to now, which is more than 70 years, we've done squat because we have been looking at really stupid things in every discipline there is, right? If you want to understand psychology, I'm a psychosocial cultural forensic anthropologist. And how did I become that? I read Spinoza, right? 16th century Jewish theologian, right? Go read him. And he basically said, he proved mathematically, because we were heading into the Enlightenment, and he basically proved mathematically, using Greek, math, that God did exist, right? But religion didn't, And that's what we're experiencing with Donald Trump, God does exist, it's not Donald Trump. It's the insanity we're kind of going through. God is like, put us onto a spinning top, to learn something, right? And what the children, the billionaires, right? And that's what my friend, she kind of came, she only comes and gets me when she wants me, right? And pretty much all the women in my life are that. Meaning I'm not really sexually motivated, but once I kind of get switched on by a woman, who obviously wants to, be involved, then I'm there 100%. I'm not thinking about anything else, I'm not thinking about the football game. I'm not thinking about nothing but her, right? That's why women like me, because I am that, right? 100% for them. Whatever they need, however they need it, what I can do, I do it, right? So I've never been at a loss for company, and the best company I enjoy is myself. That's why I wake up, if I don't wake up early, I don't really do anything except go back to bed, and then I wake up at around 12, right? And then if I got something to do, I'll do it. If I'm not, I won't. I'll talk on the phone. I'll come up here and, drive a mile and go on my neighbor's driveway and get on the internet and talk to you guys. But you guys really don't, you're really, really, really not even, very interesting. So let's see. Let's see if someone's around to talk to. Oh, okay. Oh, let's see what MSNBC wants to say. Boop, 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 boop. Come on. Oh, there's nothing there. Something's happening to the internet. It's no longer worthwhile, right? It's Joe Rogan.
I caught
I
my
must watch
stepson
that.
spying on me in the shower. At the same time
What is
that my
this? She's still
husband
saying
used this trip
her
to get art,
stepson.
I discovered something crazy with a Boston doctor. I almost fired him until I let my stepson test it on me at dawn in the bedroom. It's really a homemade hardening trick, most effective for guys over 40.
Really?
Did
And
you know that your
she's
back
having
doesn't
her
get stiff because
stepson
the arteries
test
are
it
clogged
out
with
on her.
toxins that block?
So as you all know, Mark Maron has been calling out Joe Rogan on a regular basis. He's been doing a bunch of podcasts. He went to on some podcasts that are in the Rogan sphere, you can say,
This guy.
and he went on some that are not in the Rogan sphere. But his message has been consistent. He's wrapping up the podcast, and he has a new comedy special that came out. But he's really like, he's really letting it hang out, and he's really telling people like, hey, these guys are fucked up, and let me explain to you how they're fucked up. And he's right. He's right. These are all fucking Trump ball coddlers who play coy about it when they're under pressure and pretend like they're not, but they are. That's exactly what they are. And so now it's interesting because between Mark Maron consistently calling out Rogan and the Rogan sphere and that huge video that dropped from the Elephant Graveyard channel. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but go watch the most recent video on the YouTube channel Elephant Graveyard. It's something like how comedy turned into an anti-reality doomsday cult. It's something like that. Go watch it. It's like 2 hours long, but it's well worth it. And it's just ruthlessly dismantles the entire Rogan sphere and how it's a cult and how they're all pathetic followers. None of them are original thinkers. And so between those two things, you can tell Rogan is feeling the heat. You can tell he realizes, like, I don't think I'm the popular kid anymore. I don't think my group is the popular group anymore. I think we're sort of being mocked now, and we're being laughed at, and we're being taken down a couple pegs. And so with that being said, here's a video. Joe Rogan responds to Mark Maron's call out, and you'll see, man, he is feeling the heat. Watch this.
It's funny, they think like we move as a group. Yeah.
Oh, they're all Republicans now.
It's the things I hear people apply to this comedy scene. I'm just like, what the fuck are you
So
guys?
look at this pathetic little yes man. Look at this pathetic little yes man. There to butter up Rogan. Oh, come on, man. That's embarrassing.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
I read another article the other day about us being an anti-woke comedy scene. Like, look, why not just do great stuff? Go do.
Are you getting less than $2,500 in Social Security?
I'm
And you're a
getting,
senior on Medicare,
like
Medicaid?
$800.
An empire wants to impose a new hegemony, a new dominance. And that's why it started the economic trade war. That's why it threatens all the countries in the world with war. That's why their policy is so aggressive, so brutal, threatening powerful governments. They go after the world's powers, after small countries. They blackmail everyone. It's in Colombia where cocaine is produced. Venezuela is its sovereign territory, and everyone should know this undeniable truth. In every language, in every country, in the South, in the Caribbean, in the North, in Europe. The experts know it, Boris. The experts from all countries know that Venezuela is a territory completely free of coca leaf plantations. Absolutely.
I mean, you have to realize that Donnie is not doing this. He's just reading the script. People don't want to. They want to. Donnie's put there so he can be blamed when the shit hits the fan, right? And then a new leader, like maybe, what's his name, Hulk Hogan, or maybe who's the guy with the silk pants? Our vice president, JD. You see him being president? Ooh, it wouldn't be pretty. You ready to be everyone being put in camps? Not gonna be fun. What are you gonna do about it? And you can't we're gonna have a rebel. No, come on, bring me. If Donnie sends the troops into Chicago, the smartest thing would be that musicians and poets would go out amongst the troops and sing them love songs, right? having no weapons, no signs, and just singing really deep songs that hit the individual human spirit about comradeship, brotherhood, love, the we and me, right? I have done that in many, 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 we use that technique on the police, the hired police, the hired guns of, Chase Manhattan Bank and Long Island Lighting Company with the Shoreham Power Plant. We weren't threatening, we were loving, right? And look at Donnie, he's always going, oh, my people there, it was a love fest, He understands how to, again, he doesn't understand. He reads the script. He's a game show host. He's reading the teleprompter. And it'll be interesting to see what happens to him, whether he dies of cheeseburger or, but I don't see, the part of the script is they're never going to let another election. He said, when you vote me in, that'll be the last election. You won't ever have to vote again. I mean, this guy, he's reading a script, so he's telling you exactly what's going on. People, oh, that's Donald Trump. He's just being Donald Trump. That'll never happen. Well, just take a look around you, right? And then the other people, oh, no, my hair's on fire. Oh, it's fascism, blah, blah, blah. Kids, this is a whole different ball game. And the only way you can fight it is with integrity of love's co-creation. It's the only way. Period. That's it. And the fact there's only one, thumbs up to this conversation that's been 22 minutes and 22 seconds, it's that, come on, guys. Wake, don't get woke. Become aware. Have insight. See what's going on in your life. Don't run on autopilot, Don't be controlled by the process. Life is a lot more fun when you are the decider, right? And the only way you can be the decider is when you are within consciousness of love's co-creation. It's the only way you can be the decider. Otherwise, no matter what choice you take, it's not a choice. It's something that's been given you. Right? And it's up to you to make the difference. In every day and every way, you take the handlebars of your life and incorporate the we in me. Your life is not about you, not about what that you're so special, that you're so entitled. No, it's not about any of that. It's about you realizing your life is about the other, the person who's suffering, that homeless guy, the person who's working 10 jobs just to have food on the table, and that food is poison. It's like, come on. This is so right in our face, and nobody wants to even go there. Don't want even to know about it. Not even. See, I didn't want to do anything.
Did you know that putting garlic under your tongue can actually sharpen your vision and
Oh,
cut down
did
your
you know
glasses
that?
prescription by 3 times?
Oh.
I know it sounds crazy.
I
People
do.
might call me out in the comments for saying this, but once you try.
So as the tariff war now threatens to explode, I'm
This
joined
guy's
by
kind
a
of fun.
very special guest. Joining me from New York is one of the world's leading economists and public policy analyst, Professor Jeffrey Sachs. Joins me from New York. Appreciate your joining us, Professor Sachs. You've been a clear critic of Donald Trump's tariff policies. You've described them in the past as stupid, bizarre, economically reckless, and self-destructive of U.S. foreign policy interests. Despite that, as we've seen, the Trump administration has decided to go ahead with 50% tariffs on Indian goods, including a 25% tariff tied to India's Russian oil purchases. Do you believe that Donald Trump has simply lost it, or is he arm twisting India?
Well, he's trying to arm twist India, but he's not going to succeed. What he is succeeding in doing is uniting the BRICS countries bringing India closer to China, to Brazil, to other major economies in the world. He is isolating the United States from the world economy because, after all, these tariffs are making the U.S. industry less competitive. Maybe they'll produce more for the home market, but they'll be less competitive internationally. And what countries like India and China and Russia will find out is that the fast-growing majority of the world economy is not the United States or even Europe. It is the emerging economies around the world. So I think Trump is shooting, I won't say himself in the foot, he's shooting America in the foot, my country. He's making it less prosperous and less competitive, but he is effectively uniting the rest of the world in closer relations.
I'll come to the manner in which he's uniting the rest of the world in a moment. But the fact is, despite all the criticism of his tariff policies, he's unrelenting. In fact, his trade advisor, Mr. Navarro, says India is the Maharaja of tariffs, accuses India of profiteering from cheap Russian oil purchases. So Trump isn't backing down. That has perplexed a few people who thought that he would pull back as he had with China. With India, he seems to be going all the way.
I don't think Trump understands very much about what he does, and I don't think that the advisors understand.
If I were to die tomorrow, I'd want every man who suffer with ED, including you, to know about this salt trick my husband discovered. It all started.
Everyone knows that the U.S. government's foreign policy is deeply hypocritical and based on double standards. However, when you look at what the United States does in Latin America, the level of dishonesty and deception is truly breathtaking. Today, I'm going to be showing how the Donald Trump administration is supporting one of the most corrupt politicians on earth, a Colombian oligarch who is very closely linked to drug cartels and paramilitary groups. This has been admitted by U.S. intelligence agencies. It's not controversial to say that. And yet the Trump administration is staunchly defending him, while at the same time, the U.S. government is starting another coup attempt in Venezuela, trying to overthrow Venezuela's left-wing president, Nicolas Maduro, based on accusations without any proof that Maduro is supposedly linked to drug cartels, while again, the U.S. government is actively defending someone that the U.S. government knows works directly with drug cartels.
Because the drug cartel is the CIA, the MI6, the French, go watch that movie, The French Connection. And what that is a way to manipulate a population who use drugs, right? They can incarcerate them, they can addict them, they can kill them, and they make a buku amount of money that's non-traceable, right? And that's what pays for all the wars that are like in Nigeria, and that's in Sierra Leone, and in Darfur, and in countries all around the world. There's about 128 countries. And what's very interesting, I asked, as I was telling you, I have a friend, she came and got me the other day, and her new boyfriend, his daddy's a billionaire, right? So we went on his yacht, and at a lake, there are no yachts. There are speedboats and ski boats and fishing boats, but no, maybe a Chris Craft, maybe a pontoon party boat, but not a yacht that has like a captain and a crew that's giving you your drinks and your pâtés, So, so I went on that boat, and it was really fun. And I was standing between her and him, and she was going, "Don't worry, Daddy, you're my old man," and I am. I'm old. And he is just my boy toy, right? He pounds me all night long. Your hips don't even work. So Yeah, okay. So, I understand this. And then he starts whistling in my ear, I like boys too. And so I'm like going, how did I get here? What's going on? Am I being punked? Is this on, MTV? What's going on? And, and that's what it's like. And so because my friend, she is truly, her family is like, been social activists, got murdered for being social activists. And she's black, she's Hispanic, she's Roman Italian, and German. So her skin is whiter than white. She's got blue eyes, but she's got a gigantic afro and African bone structure. And people look at her and go, huh? So anyway, she's very much, very well read, sharp, and she's got her own gig going, right? So the guy, I talk, so where'd you go? What do you do? He says, I'm a physicist. I have a PhD. I said, oh, not nice. Where'd you go to school? I went to Brown, and I went to Stanford, and I went to MIT. Oh, it's not great. So what are you doing with all this knowledge? Well, I'm just, taking stock and traveling around and going on Dad's jet to all kinds of countries. And I said, oh, go. I said, so you're a physicist. You must know Jeff Epstein. He goes, well, yeah. I mean, all the schools I went to have a building named after him, and now they don't. And my daddy knew him really well. He was good buddies with him, along with the president. And I'm going, how did I get here? What is going on? And then I said, so what do you think of the other? What's the other? I said, someone who's not you. Well, I don't think about anybody like that. I just think about me, what I want, what I need, and, all I have to do is ask one of these people, and they'll do whatever I say. And I'm looking at right, and they're looking on this forum, they're there, and they're ready to fill the glass with wine or peel the grape or God knows what else. And so the girl sees my glass is almost empty. She comes over and fills it. I go, what's your name? She goes, oh, Deborah. I said, Deborah, thank you very much, and you're doing a great job. She almost burst into tears. Thank you so much, sir. Anyway, and the guy just kind of was vapid, empty look in his face, like, huh? And so anyway, we were talking about geopolitics, right? And war and finance and stuff like that, right? So so what's your daddy do? Well, he builds and runs casinos. I said, oh, isn't that nice? And restaurants and fast food chains, and he's also doing processed food. Oh, isn't that great? All things that really make world a better place to be. And then I said, so the other, right? So I said, I tried to use my phone, it didn't work. I said, can I use your phone? And he had this Chinese phone, Huawei phone, that doesn't go onto the internet. It doesn't go on to through whatchamacallit, the cell towers. It goes straight to a satellite up to what's his name? Elon's Neon Husk. That's my new name for him. Not new, but that's what I call him. Neon, because he's bright with no illumination, and he is a husk, meaning on the inside he's hollow. So he's Neon Husk. So Neon Husk is got all these little satellites in low Earth orbit, and these Huawei phones go straight to them, right? So I said, do I have to push any button? No, there are no buttons. You just ask it stuff, and it'll tell you whatever you want to know. So, oh, okay, that's interesting. So I say, so what do I call it? And he said, Google. And so I asked the AI, because it's not my Google, that's for sure. My Google is basically brain dead. And so I said, how many people live on Earth today? And the AI said 0.8 billion people. I said, really? I've never heard that number. It said, well, it's the truth. It's what it is. And I said, how many are the other? And the AI knew exactly what I was talking about. It said 800 million people are starving to death, are in war, don't have a house over their head, and at any minute they're going to be dead. 800 million. Those are the others. And they're not all in war zones. They're on street corners in every city in the United States and in Europe and all over. There is the other all through society. The other, I said, what about the other 8 billion? And it said, oh, that's the other. And that is a grading scale from this kid sitting next to you to the girl sitting next to you. And so they have a way to have some finance. They aren't starving to death. They are got, some kind of shelter. And they have a assumed security. I said, assumed security? What about just get over it? Daddy's a billionaire. We're on his yacht. He goes, that could end tomorrow. Whereas the young lady on your other side, she has skill sets that it won't end tomorrow for her. And, the billionaire kid who's going, huh? It was like Scooby-Doo, right? I mean, he actually kind of looked like this. He kind of looked like that. So there's nobody here. It's 37 minutes and 5 seconds and 1 thumbs up. And it's probably around 3 o'clock, right? Now I'm fasting today. I haven't really eaten anything. And it's interesting. You should try fasting because it helps. It helps with my diabetes, my blood sugar, and it also puts me in a fashion to appreciate things more. And so I ate something, yesterday, but not a lot. I had a meager meal. I had 2 fried eggs and a piece of toast. That was about what I had. And I've been staying well hydrated, but still, everyone needs to be more hydrated, right? So anyway, so there I was there and on the yacht yesterday, and it really came into my mind that all the stuff you see on YouTube, the orange turd, neon husk, all of that stuff is irrelevant. The only thing that is real is love's co-creation. Now, I would love it. Hey, there's one person there. Hey, one person, what do you think of love's co-creation? What's going on with that? What's going on? Do we have it? Is it around? What's going on, right? Can you tell me? Anyway, I'm going to go. I'll come back in 40 minutes when more people seem to want to live this. And this is a live show. Come on, you could, the world awaits your everything.